How's it going, Reef Keepers? Hope everybody's having a good start to their week. The last few videos I put out, I noted in just about every one of them that I was really struggling with, or I had struggled with, changing my Kalkwasser dosing schedule and the impact that it had on some of the LPS corals specifically. The SPS seemed to deal with it better, but my elegance coral was looking real spindly and struggling. And then, weirdly enough, like my toughest coral in the tank, the Duncan corals, kind of closed up and were really upset with me for this Kalkwasser dosing shift that I did. But today, it's like I could see the polyps starting to extend out. The elegance was becoming engorged again. And I was like, all right, we're on the cusp of really, turning over a new leaf here. And so I figured I'd show you the tank because it looks better today than it has in really like a couple of weeks. And I wanted to talk through what all changes I made while I give you guys some close-up views of the tank. So what I did was kind of a ended up being a two-prong approach to stabilizing my tank. So I was having pretty significant swings in alkalinity and pretty significant swings in pH in the tank. And although the pH was never going down below 8.1, I was like, I'd rather not swing, between like 8.4, 8.5, all the way down to 8.1. So what I ended up doing was making it so that, or adjusting my schedule so that Kalkwasser, probably 90% of my Kalkwasser dosing in the course of a day, doses during the 12 hours that the lights are off, which supercharges the the pH situation while there's no oxygen being produced and put into the tank by the animals in the tank, right? So that leveled out my pH. Now my pH goes down to like 8.15 right now, and it seems to be very slowly climbing from there. And then it tops out around like 8.4, 8.45 in there. So I closed that gap up a little bit, which is good. But then I noticed that my alkalinity swings were still not as narrow as I would like them. And so what I did was I don't dose that much additional alkalinity to the tank on top of what I dose for Kalkwasser. It doesn't need that much. It's about 35 milliliters a day as things currently stand. But I shifted that alkalinity to dose, which is just BRS pharma grade alk. I shifted that to dose during the daylight hours. And so just reading my apex graphs and where the troughs and peaks were, I was like, all right, I think I should be dosing, most of this alkalinity starting at like, it was after the lights turn on. I'd have to look at the schedule, but it's like 10 a.m., I think. It starts and then it stops at like 6 p.m., I want to say, something like that. But I basically targeted the areas where the troughs were the worst in the alkalinity swings to kind of buffer that. And now my alkalinity swings are like almost non-existent. I mean, I look at the graph for the last few days and I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, it's so leveled out now. And you can see the results of the leveling out of the stability. Like I look at, corals like these digis right here. Let me zoom on one of these. Look how happy. I mean, fluffy, fluffy frags. Everything. I mean, this is not like a pretty coral by any means, but take a look at how fluffy all the polyps are on them. The acro's happy. My one acro that made it through the seed shrimp onslaught. Take a look at these pieces from TSA. Just fully extended. So happy. I'm already seeing growth on some of these for sure. And the LPS, which again, that was, I'm always worried about the SPS because they're more delicate. But, I mean, look how happy the elegance is. Just completely extended. Super healthy looking. Take a look at that Duncan. If you guys looked at the videos the last few days, you'll be like, what? That's the same coral? I mean, it's beyond thrilled with its situation now. Same with the middle Duncan. Crazy extension on that. Everything looks happier. Even rock flower anemones, which I don't know, maybe it's just my mind playing tricks on me, but even the rock flower nems look happier. I mean, these things are, look at that one, back beyond behind the urchin. I mean, good lord. So yeah, um, from this point on, just based on anecdotal evidence, and again, it could be, who knows, it could be so many different factors. You want to ascribe success or associate success with something you did so badly that you trick yourself into anything. So I try to watch my back on that. But like after the gauntlet was passed, where everything adjusted to the difference in dosing schedules and a little bit of tweaking of dosing amounts and stuff like that, now I see this result and I'm like, okay, like I'm starting to believe in this like fighting for stability thing, right? So now I just wanted to share the success that is, apparent based on this change that I made after the rough period finally passed and everything is panned out now. I mean, this is the best my tank has looked in so very long. I mean, I'm blown away by it. I've been posting about it on Instagram, like, I think I posted like 3 times in the last 24 hours, and now I'm making a video on it because I'm just like, I want to capture the beauty of this while it's here, right? We'll see if I'm still like this big believer in it in the next few days. Hopefully nothing goes crazy. But I don't anticipate anything going wild, and I'm really paying close attention to the stability. So, yeah, I'm happy. I'm a happy reefer basically, and I wanted to show you guys. So, all right, everybody, have a great week.